But that is not like the regulated life as described in the scriptures or by the authorities. Human life is regulated life, not animal life. And regulated life only can one understand transcendental knowledge. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Om Ajnantimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuramilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadupam Parichana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana
Lalita
Shakhanvitam Sha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Krishna Bhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vritta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So what we're going to focus on today for today's class is why regulation is required in bhakti and how to regulate behavior. So these 2 points is what we will cover. Now, before we get into that, we need to have a very clear understanding of what bhakti is. So it's very simple to understand. Bhakti is made up of 3 components. There is love, there's devotion, and then there is seva, service. So this love, what we're talking about, of course, all of us experience love in some form or the other. In fact, the basic necessity, the intrinsic nature of the soul is to love and to be loved. So it wants to love and to be loved in return. Now, this love, what we're talking about, is unmotivated, unconditional, and uninterrupted. The love that we so far experience and that we share with our beloved has some level of motivation and conditions, and it's not non-stop. The closest my Guru Maharaj says that this kind of love, unmotivated, unconditional, interrupted, one can experience is that between a mother and child in the material condition. Of course, in the spiritual world, it is unmotivated, unconditional, and uninterrupted. Then what is devotion? Devotion means the single-pointed attention. There's a very common saying, whole and soul. So that's what it is. There's nothing else. It's just the object of devotion. And seva is any activity which is dovetailed for the pleasure of the beloved. So this is what bhakti is. Excuse me. Now, in a normal condition, which is called spiritual consciousness or this Krishna consciousness, bhakti is very integral to the jiva. You cannot separate bhakti from the jiva. That's who the jiva is. The jiva is bhakti, right? That's, however, in this abnormal condition, what we call the material or the self-centered consciousness, this same love is transformed into lust. And when lust comes into play, everything becomes self-centered. So instead of having activities dovetailed for the pleasure of the beloved, it becomes activities which is for the pleasure of our own self, right? Now, in such a state of material consciousness, we are then come under the control. The jiva comes under control of mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. And it's a mixture. And this mixture, the proportion, keeps changing. Okay, it's not that there is someone who is fully good or fully in passion or in ignorance. Each one dominates. There is a particular nature which dominates, but the other two will also be there. So in ignorance, we are like animals, sleeping, eating, mating, depending, of course, in a little bit more sophisticated manner, but the underlying propensity is the same. In passion, all we're looking for is sense gratification, whatever it be through our five senses. These are the gateways through which we can gratify our senses. And in the mode of goodness, that is where we can get some knowledge. Of course, we have a lot of knowledge. We have so much material knowledge, and this knowledge is like almost infinite. It keeps expanding, it keeps growing. We learn new things, we forget old things, but there is so much to know, right? Material knowledge. But that's in the mode of goodness that one can actually get knowledge. A few days back, Hema Jagannath Prabhu had mentioned, we know so much about the material world, right? And he gave the example of jail. This material world is compared to a jail. We understand what the concrete is made of. We understand the bars of iron. We can understand this metallurgy, so much knowledge. But what good is all that knowledge? Because, if you really don't want to get out of the jail, you know everything about the jail. What purpose does it serve? So in the mode of goodness, jiva can acquire knowledge of who we really are. Of course, some people may say, what do you mean? You think I don't know who I am? Yes, very simply saying, we really don't know who we are, simply because we are identifying with something that we are not. We identify with this body. That's called the illusion, Maya. Maya means that which is not, accepting that which is not to be real, and whatever is real to be false. So therefore, in such a situation, to get back to reality, regulations are required, because whatever we are doing is not working. It is further trapping us into this abnormal situation. So what regulations do is that it transforms, it elevates our consciousness from the mode of ignorance and passion and brings it to the mode of goodness. And in this mode of goodness, as Prabhupada has explained in his purport, is that we can start to understand who we are. Now, what is discipline? Discipline is this force with which regulations can be implemented and, more importantly, sustained. So you need regulations and you need discipline. Now, there is on this Sangha, morning and evening, we have, there is one Suman Mataji who joins, and there's also our dear Neeru Mataji. No matter what, they're always there, so much enthusiasm. There is so much enthusiasm and curiosity with which they are asking questions, wanting to know more and more, absorbing their consciousness in Krishna consciousness. So this is that level, no matter what, they're leading a regulated. Of course, there are others also. Some of us join sometimes, some of us join. There may be some other things, but these two Matajis, Satyabhama Mataji, always so regular, so regular. So this is a type of discipline, no matter what. Of course, there are other work that we have to do, housework, this, that, office, and all. But they have taken it upon themselves. So thank you for that, Mataji's. Hare Krishna. So this is what discipline is, and this is what regulation, as to why we need discipline and regulations, so that it elevates our consciousness, and then we could start understanding about who we really are. Hare Krishna. Now, how to regulate behavior? Okay, so we have seen that regulations, we've understood why we need to lead a regulated lifestyle. We don't need to be like an animal in the mode of ignorance or, in the mode of passion, just engrossed in sense gratification. So regulations, they need to be followed in a bona fide manner. Bona fide means disciplined succession. I like this little cutout of this picture. So you see there is this person here and he's leading everyone. They're holding hands and everyone is going towards their destination. This is what the disciplined succession is. Das, 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 anudas. Why? Why disciplined succession? Because we are right now in an animal-like state. All we'll do is running around here and there for sense gratification. Itna akal ya buddhi nahi hai humne. So you need someone who is outside this condition to guide us. Like, look at it, a ship at sea. There's a big storm. It's all dark. Nothing can be seen. The ship has just one tiny light. Okay, what can the ship see? The tiny light. In the distance, there will be a big rock. It can go and crash into it. How will it ever reach the shore? But there is something called a lighthouse. The lighthouse is tall and the lighthouse has a very powerful beam of light. And the sailor can see the lighthouse and then guide accordingly. Similarly, in our life, we need that kind of a lighthouse. And that is the disciplic succession. That light of knowledge comes from Krishna himself, the source. And it is passed down in generations through his representatives, the disciplic succession. So doing regulations is not something whimsical or speculative. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to stand on one leg, put my hand on top, and then, this is how I'm. No, not required. All that is just time pass. These are just mental speculations. So when we follow in the bona fide disciplic succession, that's when they impart this knowledge, gyan, and we know there is vigyan. Gyan alone is not enough. Vigyan is the important aspect of gyan. Vigyan is the practical application of knowledge. So from that, we get this realizations. And then how do we put it into practice? It's very simple, the ABCDs. There are do's and don'ts. The do's are, sadhu sangha. Why sadhu sangha? Because whatever company that we associate with, that's the nature, and those are the qualities and habits that we automatically imbibe. Books are the basis in which this knowledge is available. So it's very important to be perusing, to be reading these books as a discipline. Remember, we spoke about discipline. So there are so many books Srila Prabhupada has written. So many books his disciples have written. So it is very, very important. It is not just attending lectures. It is not just this doing japa. Books that basis that knowledge, proper knowledge is what you get. Then, of course, japa. Actually, japa is enough, sufficient. Romapad Maharaj had said in one Bhakti Brick several years ago, every day we are chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Just once. Now, if you multiply 16 times 108 times at least 16, it comes to something. 27,000 times something, whatever it is, a very large number. That's what we, those who have taken Diksha or have made a vow, chant those many numbers of rounds, right? Maharaj has said that just once, if we chant with attention, you become fully Krishna conscious. The consciousness gets fully purified. Just once, think about it. So how many opportunities do we have every day? Just look at it, how much opportunity that we have. So japa is enough, but because we are in this conditioned state, we are animal-like, we are very passionate, There's not much love, there's all lust. Because of all this kachara, we are trying to remove it. Prabhupada has said, we are imperfect. Even though we are imperfect, because we are following the perfect process, we will attain perfection. So all these other things become the support mechanism so that we can chant properly. So that you can chant properly. So there are these do's, association, sadhu sangha, books, japa, diet, and deity worship. Deity worship, why deity worship? Because deity worship, it is the entire philosophy is based on God is a person, the supreme person. A person has a personality. And with a personality, you can engage and have relation and reciprocation with. So when we do deity worship, it becomes personal. This entire philosophy, whatever else we are doing, it is no longer abstract. It is no longer intellectual or mental. It becomes actually personal. And there are enough instances, and you will see that over a period of time, they no longer are photographs. They are no longer metal. The deities are no longer marble or wood. They're actually persons, and you can actually reciprocate with them. So these are the do's. And then, of course, alongside with the do's, there are don'ts: no meat eating, gambling, intoxication, and illicit sex. So when we do this, the do's and don'ts, you get it? We lead a regulated lifestyle. Of course, there are hiccups, 2 steps forward, 1 step backward, sometimes full speed ahead, a lot of inspiration, sometimes a lot of depression, and there'll be doubts in the mind. Oh, why am I doing this? Am I doing the right thing? That, and believe me, it's not a question of time. Maya is very, very, right now, when a person is in the material condition, Maya says, okay, this person is stuck over here. But when someone gets into elevating his or her consciousness, someone is trying to become Krishna consciousness, someone is trying to become a devotee, Maya sends her big, big generals. And then more and more temptations, and then more and more that one person is getting elevated. Maya herself comes, and it can come in any form, very subtle. She is much, much stronger than our own willpower. There is nothing in our capacity or capabilities. That's why sadhu sangha, that's why all these things. But as long as the person remains humble and true, no matter what, this is what I'll do. I'll be disciplined, beg for the mercy. Then what is that saying? Very popular saying in Hindi. Jaake rakho Saiya maar sake. Whom Krishna wants to protect, nothing can touch, and whom Krishna wants to destroy, nothing can perfect. So we need to be in the shelter, servant of the servant of the servant. Hare Krishna. So, Prabhus, Matajis, we have 5 minutes more. If someone has a question or some comment or realization, please unmute. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Okay, if no one has a question, maybe I'll ask a question to the devotees. How do you, when doubts or when enthusiasm seems to When doubts come up or enthusiasm seems to diminish, how do you handle the situation? What do you do personally?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, when it happens, sometimes you open the books and read it. Sometimes you call your friend devotee and talk about it, that how to elevate ourselves, and by talking even sometimes just it elevates the mood right away.
Very nice. Association and reading, knowledge and reading. Very good.
Sometimes I talk to the Krishna in my temple. Krishna, why something happening today? What happened? Just I talk to Krishna. That deity worship, what you talking. I always talking with the Krishna.
Very nice,
That
Mataji.
helps a lot.
Very nice.
And somehow, unconscious or consciously, some suggestion comes automatically in your heart.
Very true. I mean, someone who doesn't believe, who doesn't have faith, someone may say that this is, all coincidence, or this is all, emotional or sentimental. But for a person who actually experiences it, Krishna does reciprocate. In fact, he's Romapad Maharaj gave a very nice example. His mercy is there for everyone, whether you're a devotee or whether you're a Rakshasa. His mercy is there for everyone. I mean, the very air that we breathe, who's provided it? So Maharaj was saying his mercy is there for everyone. And the question asked was, if his mercy is there, why do we have to qualify? Mercy by definition is for the unqualified. You've done something, and out of compassion, the authority is forgiving you. So why do we need to get qualified? Why do's, why don'ts, why all these regulation? Bhakti is something natural. This seems to be an imposition. And, so about that mercy. And Romapad Maharaj gave a very nice answer. He says, Krishna's mercy is like sunshine. Sunshine is available for everyone. Cat, dog, human, thief, sadhu, everyone. Sunshine is available for everyone. Sunshine doesn't discriminate. I'll only shine on this person and not on that person. However, because of our conditioning, we are sitting in one dark basement, very, very dark basement. And we don't want to come out in the sunshine at all. Sunshine is available, but we don't want to come out over there. We are happy where we are. So this process of following the disciplic succession, that photo earlier, where holding hands and going, climbing up the steps of that basement, dark basement, and leading us and bringing us into that sunlight. Another very important point Jayadvaita Maharaj had made: follow, don't imitate. Someone asked him a question, Maharaj, what's the difference between following and imitating? There is this, sometimes it seems to be very similar. Follow in the footsteps of Guru, Sadhu, and Vaishnavas. How you'd so he gave the example that follow means you obedience to the instruction is following in the footsteps. Imitation is we try to imitate the vapu or the form, whatever is the form. But following means the footsteps. Thank you. Hare Krishna. It is 7 o'clock. Over to you, Madhupati Prabhu. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you, everybody.
One more thing, asking a strength from the Guru and the Krishna. Give me extra, pray for the strength. Give me a strength.
Yes, Mataji. That's what we always have to be in a state, a humble state, that apni baas ki baat nahi hai. There is nothing in our capacity or capability. And always be asking and be grateful have an attitude of gratitude always, always. And the best way to express gratitude is through seva. So whenever there are opportunities of seva, rather than looking at, oh, I have this, I have that, there are so many things to do. Whenever the opportunity for seva comes, jump at it. Bhakti Tirth Swami Maharaj has said that, when the desire to serve exceeds one's capacity, that's when divine empowerment happens. Hare Krishna. Madhupati Prabhu, is he there on the call? Maybe he's busy. Krishna Raman Prabhu, would you like to bring it to a close?
You can go ahead, Prabhu. Do the prayers and close it. Yeah, otherwise no prayers. Go ahead.
Let us chant the Maha Mantra. We pray Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Rama Rama,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Let us pray to Lord Narsingha to protect us through the day. Jai Narsingha,
Jai Nrsimha, Shri Nrsimha, Jai Jai Nrsimha, Prahladish, Jai Padmamukha Padma Ugra Veeram Mahavishnu Jwalantam Sarvatomukham Nrsimha Bhikshana Bhadram Mrityum Namami.
Narsingha Dev Bhagwan Ji ki
Jai.
Maharaj Ji ki
Jai.
I'll offer our humble obeisances to all the Vaishnavas assembled on this conference, of all the Vaishnavas in the universe. Vanchakapata
Panchakalpatarubhasya Kripa Sindhubhave Danam Bhavanebhyo Namo Namah.
Vrindaki Jai.
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada Ji ki
Jai.
Bhagavatam ki
Jai.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Nandi Hari Hari.
Hare
Hari
Hare.
Hari.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Krishna Amritananda
Thank
Pr.
you, everybody. Hari
Thank
Hari.
you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Sorry, couldn't get back early. I'd like to wish you all a safe and Krishna conscious day ahead. I would like to offer our prayers to the Supreme Lord by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shina Shingo, Jaina Shingo, Jaina Shingo, Prahladesha, Jaya Padma, Mukha Padma Bringam, Ugraveeram Mahavishnu Jwalantam Sarvatomukham, Narsingam Bhishanam Bhadram Nityam Nahamiham. Narsingha Bhagwan ki Jai, Prahlad Maharaj ki Jai.
Jai.
Let's offer our humble obeisances to all the Samal Vaishnavas. Vanchakal Bhaischa Kripa Sindhu Bhaya Vacha Patitanam Pavane Bhayo Vaishnave Bhyo Namo Namaha. Vaishnavinda ki Jai. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Gaur Premanande. Hari 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 Hari.
Jai.